So he'll eventually get it right. 1-5 to 3. Richard Murphy throws in the ball, and Skibbereen facing the strong breeze in the second half. The ball from Dennis O'Driscoll goes straight to Joe O'Driscoll, centre half forward. Coming outside him is John Brady, inside the Nemo 45-metre line. A point here for Skibbereen would settle them. Great defending by Nemo, and it's Jimmy Kerrigan that picks up the break. Taking his eye off it, but he manages to get it out far as Stephen Muldoon. Pulled on, falls to Effie Fitzgerald, but the line ball goes to Nemo Rangers. Stephen Muldoon, former St. Paul's Belfast player, chemical engineer with FMC in Little Island, sending it ball down towards John Evans. John sending it back out over the line, another line ball for Nemo Rangers. This time just outside their own 65-metre line, far side of the field. Nemo Rangers playing with the breeze in the second half. No alterations to either side, and it's Tony Nation to drop the ball in deep into Skibbereen territory. John O'Donovan anticipating well, not happy to escort it out over the end line, and comes soaring out to his 13-metre line. Gives it over to Frank McCarthy, student in University College Limerick, trying to solo out with it, under pressure from Stephen Callan, picked up by Ian Green. Trying to get it back to Frank McCarthy. Suffered a hefty shoulder from Jimmy Kerrigan, but hops back into the action, limping, and it's John Davis that picks the ball up, crossing the Nemo 45. This is Joe Driscoll cutting through like a knife through butter, giving it outside to Pat Davis. This is great play. That's a superb lockdown. That's great defending. Kevin Cowie, they call him Nancy around Turner's Cross, but Nancy came to the rescue of Nemo Rangers. It looked like a certain goal for the Skibbereen men, denied brilliantly by Kevin Cowie. Pat Davis knocked away, comes to Timmy Dalton, trying to bust his way out, and Timmy, such a stalwart in Nemo Rangers, living now in Marybury Hill, captain Cork to an under-21 All-Ireland in 1980. This going to be taken by Niall Creedon. His brother Dave was man of the match in the 88 county final. Can he lead Nemo to a county football championship title? Gathered in midfield by Dennis O'Driscoll, with 3 Nemo players around him. He gives it to Ian Breen, to Don Davis, this side of the field, crossing the Nemo 65. Stephen Callan chasing after him. So too is Timmy Dalton, but it's still Don Davis giving it outside. It's good play by Skibbereen, holding on to the ball. This is Mick McCarthy, going on a bit of a tour across Parky Cleeve, decides giving a fisted pass. Now gives it, this time to Pat Davis in a good scoring position, but a very poor effort by Davis, after great work by Mick McCarthy to get into a good scoring position. They need a score just to settle them now.
Certainly, Skib need a score there now. Pat Davis certainly had a chance of a score there after a lot of hard work by and good work by Mick McCarthy, and all came to nothing, you know.
Just a few statistics for you. Skibbereen had 7 wides in the first half. Nemo had only just 2. And you can make that now, Skibbereen with a total of 8 wides. Nemo into the attack, getting it down towards Colin Corkery. Only 3 Nemo forwards inside the 45-metre line. There's a lot more now as Skibbereen come back into the defence. This is Timmy Dalton. Good scoring position from 35 metres out. Drops it high and drops it wide. Unusual for Timmy. But on this occasion, he drives it to the right and wide. So it's still 1-5 to 3 points. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. Kevin O'Dwyer. Be interested to see the distance he can get in this kick out. Taking his kick from this side of the goalpost, stand side. Richard Murphy, the referee, just telling Colin Corkery to get outside the 20-metre line with John Evans. Here's O'Dwyer running up. Good long lengthy kick dropping right here in front of us. Knocked away by Ian Breen. Some pushing, however, by Dennis O'Driscoll, and the free quickly taken. Dropping in, and Kevin O'Dwyer escorting it all over the line. Colin Corkery telling the umpire to open his eyes. John Evans, he felt it was foul him, but the umpire was having none of it. So another kick out for Kevin O'Dwyer. Racing into the breeze. Kevin taking all the time in the world. Now running up to take the kick. Decides to drop it in towards the middle. Shea Fahey. Dennis O'Driscoll getting a hand to it, but Dennis O'Driscoll fouling Shea Fahey, and Skinner in a bit of bother there, as he's affectionately called around Skib. And coming out to take it is Colin Corkery. Colin just outside the 45-metre line now.
I was surprised there actually, Marty, that Nemo didn't wait for Colin to come out and take the last free, you know, because he was inside the 45.
So Colin Corkery indicating to the referee. Skibbereen man was a little bit too near, but it comes to Effie Fitzgerald. Back to Stephen Callan. And that's a point for Nemo. Good play by Nemo Rangers. Simplicity again. Doing the simple things well. And now just 4 points between the sides. And slowly but surely, Nemo are very patient. They're taking their points and they're very much in contention.
Certainly they're coming back into the game. They're looking a lot sharper than what they did in the first 30 minutes, Marty. You know, even that free there now from Colin Corkery that came in deep for this juggle, and they took a nice, handy point out of it, you know.
Kevin O'Dwyer with the kick out from the 20-metre line. Just to the right of midfield. Comes down towards Dennis O'Sullivan, sending in a testing ball which is tailing to the left and right. And Colin Corkery indicating to Dennis, I wanted it dropped in front of me. And I think, to be honest, to Colin Corkery, that's good advice to Dennis O'Sullivan.
Oh, certainly. Dennis there now had a pot shot from nearly 60 yards, you know. Should have put it in front of Colin Corkery, who was coming out in front of his marker for it, you know.
Interesting, Niall, that Peter Lambert and Colin Corkery seem to be switching positions all the time, fading in and out of the full forward position as Timmy Dalton goes through. Jimmy Kerrigan was running outside him, but Gino O'Driscoll deemed guilty of fouling Timmy, and it's another free in for Nemo Rangers, this time on about 35 metres out, and should be a relatively easy one for Colin Corkery.
That's right, should be a relatively easy one. And interesting again there, Marty, I see where Jimmy Kerrigan had got inside all the backs at that stage, that if he had got the ball and he was actually, he had a clean shot at his goal, at the goalkeeper.
Colin Corkery with the free, and as Niall was saying, in the first half, he really is deadly on these frees, and he puts that one over the bar, making it 1-5 to 5 points. So all that separates Skibbereen and Nemo now is Joe Driscoll's goal. And that penalty keeps coming back into my mind anyway, how vital it could well turn out to be.
That's right, Marty. Certainly it could be the vital score at the end of the game, and I see where Nemo have made a positional switch, bringing Dennis Sullivan to centre field, and bringing Dennis Sullivan to centre field and putting Timmy Dalton at centre forward.
And just as he was mentioning Dennis O'Sullivan, threw booted a ball that was loose. I don't know if it's anyway dirty or anything like that, but the referee didn't like it, so he's giving a free to Anthony Davis, centre of the pitch, hitting it smartly. Kevin Cowie underneath it, knocks it down for Jimmy Kerrigan to pick it up. 33-year-old from Grange gives it to Tony Nation, sending it way over towards Peter Lambert, over by the far over touchline, and that's going to be a line ball for Skibbereen. Good play by John O'Donovan, in fairness. Harris without fouling him. John Brady loose around the centre, gets inside Paddy Dorgan, giving it to Tony Davis, coming through past the Nemo 45, approaching the 20-metre line, attempts the hand pass, gets it inside to Mick McCarthy. Despite the attention of 3 Nemo players, he sends it in and he sends it wide. And still no score in the second half for Skibbereen with 8.5 minutes gone. It's 1-5 for Skibbereen, 5 points for Nemo Rangers.
Surprisingly enough there, Marty, actually Anthony Davis should have gone for his own score. He was inside the 30-metre line or whatever. He should have gone for his own score and opted to pass it instead, you know.
Don Heafy's kick out, knocking down. Joe Driscoll can't get a boot to it. Stephen Muldoon does. Coming through like a bullet is Ian Green. Great determination. The left half back from Skibbereen. He gives it to John Brady, trying to get past Stephen Callan. Brady in a spot of bother gives it back to Mick McCarthy. Has to go down in his second time to gather it. Bursts his way past Jimmy Kerrigan. Still McCarthy onto the right boot, dropping it dangerously in. And well gathered. Superbly gathered by Stephen Muldoon. Well played by the Nemo centre half back. Shea Fahy going down to help out his defence as they build in the traditional style of Nemo, running off the ball, still fisting it out. Now they've got Stephen Muldoon around the centre half back position. Took his eye off it just for a moment, but goes back to gather it. Question of maybe he took it off the ground. The crowd seem to think so. And Skibbereen, Harris and Chase, but that's going to be a free for Kevin Kevin Cowie, and Kevin not liking the challenge, quickly taken. A substitute coming on for Nemo, that's Paul O'Donovan. As Paul O'Donovan tries to give a slip of paper, but this play is continuing on. It's Timmy Dalton giving it inside to Peter Lambert. Goal on here, and he puts it over the bar. And that was definitely down as goal. Opportunity, Ibra him for Nemo Rangers. Now Paul O'Donovan can give the slip of paper to the referee. But a goal chance there for Nemo.
Certainly it was a golden chance for a goal. Had got inside the backs, you know, and I see where, as you were saying, Marty, Nemo are making a lot of positional changes. They brought on a sub, and they certainly seem to be throwing the ball around fairly well at this stage.
Question now is who's going off for Nemo.
I think Efi Fitzgerald looks to be the man that's coming off.
And I don't think Efi has been told. Now it looks
actually,
like
it is Peter Lambert they're bringing off, Marty. You know, they would have been in some predicament if he had put that in the back of the net to be just taking him off straight away, you know.
A little bit of a surprise decision, I would have thought now, because I think so. Dangerous every time.
Yeah, I think so. He has certainly looked dangerous in position, you know.
So Peter Lambert goes off. I wonder what Dinny and Michael Gordon would have done if he'd scored the goal there. Referee decides it's going to be a hot ball. A little bit of argy-bargy going on between Don Davis and Paddy Dorgan. As Nemo's Jimmy Kerrigan seems to have picked up an injury. He tells Timmy Dalton he's all right. And this is going to be a hot ball. Shea Fahy and Brian O'Donovan. Rhino and Skinner at midfield for Skibbereen. Dennis O'Driscoll and Brian O'Donovan, and it's Skinner that leaps high into the clouds, comes down with it and gets the free eventually. Jimmy Kerrigan and Dennis O'Sullivan are annoyed over the decision.
I think what they're protesting there, Marty, is that the throw-in was between Brian O'Donovan and Shea Fahy, and Dennis O'Driscoll jumped in from the side and won it.
Ian Breen, another guard on this Skibbereen team, dropping it in dangerously. Gallows, and great blocking down. Joe Driscoll trying to get a boot to it. Nemo players protesting, and the referee saw it as well. Skibbereen man touching the ball on the ground on the 13-metre line, so it's a free out for Nemo Rangers. 12 minutes gone in the second half. The scoreline: O'Donovan Rossa won 5, Nemo Rangers 6 points. 2 points between the teams. 1-5 to 6. Skibbereen still holding on, and by no means anywhere near as impressive as they were in the first 15 minutes of this county final. Gino Driscoll with the ball. Timmy Dalton chasing after him, giving it to Don Davis, trying to take on Jimmy Kerrigan. Kerrigan fouling him, and a free for Skibbereen. And there's a tussle that started off the ball between Kerrigan and Davis, now continuing when they have possession. And Richard Murphy not liking the bit of retaliation by Jimmy Kerrigan when he just kicked out at the Skibbereen man, and Jimmy Kerrigan being booked. And to be honest with you, with 13 minutes gone in the second half, if the West Cork men want to win this championship, they really do need to score from this free. They've failed to do so far, and that's 13 minutes into the second half. Mick McCarthy to take it. Man with 2 All-Ireland senior football medals, going for the county championship. He hits it smartly, and he puts it over the bar. And crucial kick by Mick McCarthy. That's his 4th at the county final, and it puts 3 points between the sides.
Great score there for Mick McCarthy, even though he had stolen a couple of yards, I think, and that's what the Nemo players were protesting there, I think, just before he kicked it. But it's after putting the 3 points again between them, you know. Skibbereen chant and cheer.
1-6 to 6 points, 14 minutes gone in the second half. Timmy Dalton picking up the break around midfield, getting inside Joe Driscoll, sending a ball in towards Colin Cochray. Out first to it, ahead of John Evans. Jimmy Kerrigan, the right half-back, going through good scoring position for Jimmy, and Kerrigan takes his point. Great play by the right half-back. A man with 6 county championship medals, and the electrical estimator puts his name on the scoreboard for the first time in the 92 county final.
A great score there from Nemo to counteract the free Marty that Skibbereen had just scored, you know. And again, Jimmy Kerrigan popping up in virtually inside in the large parallelogram when he kicked it.
So the 3 points that Skibbereen so badly needed to just keep themselves a safe distance ahead, now reduced to 2 by Jimmy Kerrigan. 1-6 to 7. as we approach the 15th minute of the second half. Tony Davis getting the boot in. Tony Nation, his colleague and many times in the Cork football team in the same half-back line, not liking the fact that there was a sliding tackle. Referee wave play on, and now Nemo get that free. Far side, just a few metres in from the far over sideline, just outside their own 65. A long ball from Tony Nate, well gathered by Colin Corkery. Giving it back to Joe Kavanagh. Stephen Callan fouled, and it's a free in for Nemo. And again, this could be vital, because if Colin Corkery keeps up what Niall Callan thinks of him as a fine free taker and his consistency, it could be just 1 point between the sides.
Yeah, Colin Corkery is actually playing very well from play as well, Marty. He's after winning the last two balls that they have got 2 scores from there now, plus this one again, and has again punished Skibbereen by putting it over the bar, you know. Certainly they will have to do something with Colin Corkery, plus the fact that Timmy Dalton has been playing exceptionally well since he came centre forward.
So right down the middle at the moment, Nemo doing well, centre forward and full forward, and the scoreline is 1-6 to 8 points as O'Donovan Rossa bring in Brian Carmody. A switch in the Skibbereen team. We'll see who goes off in a moment, but in case you've just joined us, which I'm sure that you haven't, you've been tuned in since 2:45. Skibbereen leading by just 1 point. So Skibbereen making the changes as Brian Carmody goes on, and Frank McCarthy goes off. As Skibbereen, in fact it's Pat Davis that goes off as Don Davis goes forward. Referee says taking too many steps with the ball, and it's a free out for Nemo. So Pat Davis disappointed to be leaving this county final, but Brian Carmody introduced for Skibbereen. It's Ian Green that sends it back up towards Carmody, getting his first touch. It breaks nicely for Joe Driscoll, cutting inside Tony Nation. Still O'Driscoll on the 13-metre line from a difficult angle, sends it high and sends it over the bar. That's a great point by Joe O'Driscoll, a player that knows where the goalposts are and has now got 1-1 in this county final. Good score now.
Certainly a great score. I actually thought that he was going to play it outside him to Mick McCarthy. There was an easier option on, but when you can take scores like that, why should you throw the ball around, you know?
So 1-7 to 8 points. Switches in the Nemo attack. Stephen Callan gone right corner forward. Joe Kavanagh now playing at right half forward, and Kavanagh has been very quiet this afternoon. Comes down towards Dennis O'Driscoll, the Skinner, giving it to his coach, Gene O'Driscoll, at right half back, running across into the centre, across to Don Davis, a Cork minor in 87, Munster Championship medal winner. Now he wants the county. Joe O'Driscoll, Cork under 21, in it dead straight in front of the post. A magnificent point by Joe O'Driscoll. He could well be the match winner for the men from West Cork. That is a great point by the Skibbereen man.
Certainly 2 great scores there from Joe O'Driscoll. At this stage he seems to be turning the game around all on his own, Marty.
We could well have man of the match in Joe O'Driscoll. 18 and a half minutes gone in the second half. Nemo now trail by 1 goal, 1-8 to 8 points. From being just 1 point in front, Skibbereen, thanks to Joe O'Driscoll with 2 inspirational scores, have now put themselves back 3 points to the good. Referee delaying play for a moment. Dennis O'Driscoll has picked up a shoulder injury, and Anthony Davis being told to hold on to it. Referee has stopped play. Dennis is up on his feet, his right hand holding his left shoulder, just between the 45 and 65 metre line in the centre of the field. Referee checking with the Skibbereen mentors that the midfielder can continue. Tony Goulding checking him out, saying you're okay, much to the delight of the West Cork crowd. Anthony Davis to take the free. A few metres inside the Nemo 65, dead smack in the centre of the pitch. Driving it in towards Mick McCarthy. Lovely play by McCarthy, giving it back out to John Brady, thrusting his way forward, and despite the attempts of 3 Nemo players, gets his kick in. Don Heaphy knocking it down to his left cornerback, but he'd been fouled inside the square, so Don Heaphy to take the free himself. But McCarthy did very well, despite 3 Nemo players being around him. It's Heaphy on his own small rectangle, dropping it into the middle, knocked away by one man called Joe O'Driscoll. Still O'Driscoll pushing his way forward, calling outside as Devil Murphy, and brilliantly blocked down by the Nemo defence. 3 Nemo men combining there to keep Skibbereen at bay. To Don Davis, dropping it in and dropping it wide. They need to take every opportunity. But thanks to Joe O'Driscoll's inspiration, Skibbereen are rampant at the moment.
Joe O'Driscoll is playing exceptionally well at centre forward, laying off that ball to Neville Murphy, who should have put it over the bar, I think. There was Minin on top of him, blocking down. He could have even fisted it over the bar.
The kick out by Don Heaphy. 20 minutes gone in the second half, and Skibbereen go through again. Niall Creedon just getting a touch to it from John Brady's pass into Mick McCarthy. Kerrigan being harassed and chased. Is Skibbereen inspired at the moment? This is the centre half back going through, passing the 20-metre line and driving it wide. These missed opportunities and the spell of superiority could well turn out to be detrimental to Skibbereen. As Nemo introduce another substitute, Conor Buckley is coming on. Dinny Allen making alterations. Stephen Muldoon coming off. Dinny Allen seeing exactly what Niall Callahan and myself were seeing up here, that Stephen was in trouble against Joe O'Driscoll. Kerrigan, I feel, will probably be moved to centre half back. Conor Buckley to right cornerback. As the referee tells Don Davis there are 9 minutes left in the county final. In fact, what they're doing is moving Jimmy Kerrigan to centre half back. Joe O'Driscoll has been moved to left half forward, and Kevin Cowie to right half back. Cowie trying to gather it, but as Dennis O'Driscoll gets a boot to it. Conor Buckley just introduced, going past his own 13-metre line, inside his own 13-metre line, giving it outside to Niall Creedon, the Nemo captain, getting a boot to it, down right here in front of us, but from where the ball landed, the free is going to be, I would imagine, to Nemo. And the referee having a word with Mick McCarthy. The 2 captains have had a right old tussle in Parky Cave this afternoon. And to be honest with you, Mick McCarthy has won the battle, but has he won the Andy Scandal Cup? That's the question. 8 minutes left in the clock. The scoreline, 1-8 for O'Donovan Rossa, 8 points for Nemo. And from where the ball landed, outside the Nemo 45, in between the Nemo 45 and 65-metre line. The referee gives a hot ball. Shea Fahy, the army man, brought down by Brian O'Donovan. And it must be said as well, as we're at midfield, Niall, that the Skibbereen midfield have done very well against Shea Fahy, Timmy Dalton, and indeed Dennis O'Sullivan.
Skibbereen midfielders have done exceptionally well throughout the game, in counteracting the threat from Timmy Dalton and Shea Fahy, and now Dennis O'Sullivan.
Right here in front of us, the linesman has put up his flag. Brian O'Donovan claims his innocence, but the linesman adamant that it is a sideline ball for Nemo. 1-8 to 8 points, I emphasise. Nemo trailing. Dennis O'Sullivan dropping a ball in towards Timmy Dalton. Nobody touches it, and the umpire agrees. A wide ball, a crucial kick by Dennis O'Sullivan going wide. Time ticking away. Skibbereen 7 minutes away from county senior championship glory. Nemo facing possibly only their second defeat in 10 county finals. They lost their first in 72. They won the next 9. Can they come back?
Certainly they need a score. They definitely need a score at this stage. Skibbereen have taken over for the last 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so.
Stephen Callan from a breakdown from Colin Corkery, going for a goal, and great blocking down by Ian Breen. It's gone out over the line. Stephen Callan certainly got a leg injury there, but a great block down by Ian Breen, because it looked, though it might have been difficult for Stephen Callan, there was a goal shot on at least.
Yeah, there was at least a shot at goal, you know what I mean? He possibly was moving away from the goal itself, out to the left-hand side as we look into the back racking, but there was a shot at goal,
So Stephen Callan down inside the large rectangle at the moment. Referee telling Gino Driscoll that there are just 6 minutes left in actual playing time. With the injuries, there'll possibly be at least 1.5 to 2 minutes added on. Plenty of time for Nemo. Stephen Callan limping, a left leg injured there thanks to that lockdown by Ian Green. Perfectly legitimate, may I add. And out on the 45, to the left of the post is one Colin Corkery. The man from Ballyfahan hits it well and hits it to the left of the line. And that, as far as I can recall, is the first time he's missed a free.
Colin's first miss from place ball. Actually, Nemo are bringing on Peter Lambert again, nasty.
An amazing decision, really, when you think of it, that Nemo are bringing back on Peter Lambert. And for my money's worth, he possibly should never have been taken off.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. He looked dangerous in possession. He certainly looked dangerous, and he seemed to be moving well. And he's on a John O'Donovan, who is an exceptionally good full-back, you know.
It's a possibility, possibly, Niall, I'm only guessing here, that maybe in the confusion that it was the wrong man that was being taken off, because Effie really never got going today, and Effie is a fine player.
Could have happened, I think.
Timmy Dalton going through, looking for support. It comes to Joe Kavanagh, dead straight in front of the post, and it's a white flag for Nemo Rangers. 1-8 to 9 points. 26 minutes gone in the second half. 4 to go. Peter Lambert, the Tipperary man, is back on at the edge of the square. Stephen Callan playing corner forward. Joe Kavanagh getting his first point of the county final. Tension mounting in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and there isn't a soul going to the exits. Nobody leaving, because everybody knows that when you're playing Nemo Rangers, a great club, you're not by any means victorious, as Niall said earlier, until Nemo in the dressing room. Shea Fahy going into the clouds, comes down with it and uses all his weight to get past the Skibbereen men. Tony Nation sending it up to Colin Corkery. John Evans just getting a touch to it. It's great play by John O'Donovan. The O'Donovan Rossa Skibbereen fullback getting it down, a good intelligent ball to Mick McCarthy. Looking for a little bit of support. Not there fast enough. Still McCarthy battles away. Knocked away from him, but it comes to Brian O'Donovan. Rhino giving it to the substitute, Brian Carmody, in a good position. Decides to cross it right across the face of the goal. Chasing after it this side is Joe O'Driscoll. Kevin Cowie with him. Still O'Driscoll, the man who certainly brought Skibbereen back into this county final. Giving it to Mick McCarthy. Mick going across the pitch on the 20-metre line. Not a great pass. But fouled. John Brady is fouled by Timmy Dalton, and it's a free in for Skibbereen, and that should give them a little bit of breathing space, and if he puts it over the bar, certainly will re-establish Skibbereen's 3-point lead. It's just to the left of the post. Mick McCarthy to take it. 4 points to his credit, going for his 5th. Sends it over the crossbar, and Skibbereen are now 1-9. Nemo 9 points. By our stopwatch, we have now reached exactly the 28th minute of the second half. 2 to go. 3 points between the sides.
3 points between the sides. Nemo certainly at this stage, it looks like as if they need a goal, you know.
Don Heaphy with the kick out. 2 Skibbereen players going up for it. And it's Don Davis that comes down with it. The bonfires already in Skibbereen. But will they be lit? There's only 2 minutes left. Great ball inside to Rhino. The student, former Rockwell College star, sends it across the face of the goal bar. Joe O'Driscoll trying to keep it in. Succeeds in doing so. The umpire was right beside him. Still O'Driscoll with the outside of his boot. Connected beautifully! Goal for Skibbereen! The Rhino has done it for the West Cork men. Now you can light the bonfires. Mick McCarthy goes to the ground. The mighty Nemo have fallen. A marvellous goal for Skibbereen.
Certainly a marvellous goal, there's no doubt about it. Again, Joe O'Driscoll that made that goal, Marty.
And here they come again. Jimmy Kerrigan with a high challenge on Don Davis. Don Davis didn't like it, but the referee's decision goes to Nemo. A marvellous display by Skibbereen. John Evans underneath it, but Colin Corkery gathers it, gives it to Lambert. Goal on here, and a fine save by Kevin O'Dwyer. Gathers it at the second attempt, and a high boot by Colin Corkery. The referee spotted it as well in an attempt to block down O'Dwyer's clearance. It's a free to Kevin O'Dwyer and Skibbereen. 29 minutes, 44 seconds. It must be over for Nemo. They've only lost one match in the whole season, and that was to Castlehaven by 1 point in the Kelleher Shield. They've been 3 times county semi-finalists over the last 3 years. They've always been there or thereabouts, but today, the day belongs to Skibbereen and not to Nemo. Well, the Skibbereen lads said during the week they were inspired by Castlehaven. If Castlehaven could do it, O'Donovan Rossa could do it.
Yeah, well, effectively we'd be bordering one another at home in West Cork, you know. Skibbereen actually, I suppose, we would regard as town, you know.
Great boost to football, though.
Certainly it is in our locations, definitely.
The red and white flags everywhere to be seen now. And Nemo, a sporting club, will no doubt be the first to congratulate the men from the West. And maybe that decision to play against the breeze in the first half was not so good after all. Lambert, again, posing a problem and sending over another point. That's 3 points for Peter Lambert, a man who was substituted and brought back on. And the referee has blown the final whistle. Skibbereen, O'Donovan Rossa are county champions 1992. Tony Davis runs to the fans and absolutely falls to the ground. The dream has become a reality for the town and the parish of Skibbereen. Nemo, the mighty Nemo, have fallen only for the second time in their illustrious history. It's been done impressively by the men from Skibbereen.
Certainly the Skibbereen looked very impressive, there's no doubt about it. They went out of the game for about, I suppose, 15 minutes of the second half and came back into it again. It looked halfway through the second half as if Nemo had taken over. Certainly due to, I think, to Driscoll more than anybody else.
When they needed him most, he responded with 2 brilliant points.
That's right, and he actually made the last goal for them there as well, you know. But Nemo's decision to take off Peter Lambert was totally amazing, because he certainly seemed to me to be the one forward they had that looked to be able to get inside his marker and get shots at goal.
Amazing decision. I'm sure it will be spoken of for a long time to come. I just feel that possibly it is only a possibility that there was confusion, that Effie Fitzgerald was actually the man that should have been taken off.
Yeah, it looked like it. There certainly was an awful lot of confusion at that time. They didn't seem to know who was coming off.
When they got the...
The Under-Senior Cup for the Cork County Senior Football Championship will now be presented by Camelos Costa-Cote and Tony Mahuna to the victorious captain of O'Donovan Rossa, Paul McCarthy. I would like on behalf of the board to pay a tribute to both teams for the wonderful game which they gave us, a great game of skill and sportsmanship. I think we should extend our compliments and thanks to Nemo Rangers, who have given a lot to football down through the years and certainly played a big part in making this year's championship so enjoyable. And we say thanks to them for what they have done for our games in their locality. Many, of course, belongs to the O'Donovan Rossa. It is certainly a great occasion for them to win the County Senior Football Championship at their first attempt in the final. And their policy of paying attention to youth has paid off here in no uncertain terms, and we salute them for that. I should as well say a sincere word of thanks to our referee, Richard Murphy, and his officials for their very confident handling of the game. And now, as we wish our Dundon Rossa well, and I am sure dear old Skibbereen will be held around West Cork this evening. It is my pleasure to present the cup to our very worthy captain, Mick McCarthy. What can I say? It's Skibbereen's here! On behalf of the team, I would like to thank the huge, fantastic effort, the super effort that our backroom team has done this year. Tony Goulding, Sean Lucy, Brad Crowley, and Mickey Bond. I left the last man. I left the last man out. The man who put the biggest effort of all into this. He trained the team, he played on the team, he coached the team, he motivated the team. I speak of none other than Gino Driscoll. Gene, a huge welcome from us all. Thank you, Winnie. To the sponsors, I would like to thank the sponsors also for their great support, and the whole town for playing the red and white for the whole week. Everyone from both sides, it built the spirit up in us. I thank everyone. The supporters, we love you. Nemo, give us a huge, superb sporting game today. I would like to thank Nemo for a great game, and I'd like to have 3 cheers for Nemo. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! I think it's time for a few points and to take the cup back to the River Island! Hey! Oh, Father, dear, I say, you speak of heaven night. Oh, love is things and body things, of mountain fruit and wine. The day is the lovely land, wherein the place my son. And why did you abandon it? There isn't to be said. Father, he has grown a diamond sun. I see my crocodile. My rent and taxes were to pay. I could not send it in. And that's the reason why I left Australia.
It's been met in this. Huh? It's from the yeah.
Would the father of Killian Long please collect him at the shop under the covered stand? The father of Killian Long please collect him at the shop under the covered stand.
Brilliant!
guys, you are brilliant.